Hi, everyone. I'm Vone Kevitz, knit and crochet designer for One of a Kind Makers who dare to be original. And let me see, I was not prepared. So I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds to find me. I'm usually on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I thought I'd hop on here on a Monday evening to chat a little bit. Now, let me get my title in here. Alrighty, and we will get going in 2 seconds. If you're on, say hi, and here we go. Did I spell that correctly? Yeah. Whew. I feel like I need a little prayer first. Lord, give me the strength and grace to talk about a topic that might be a little hard to swallow, hard to spit up. I'm not sure where to even begin or end, but I'm going to go all in, right? As a part of my apology tour. So on Saturday, I had one of the best conversations I've had in a long time on my live. So I heard a story from about a Marie with Skeins.com. So I think her yarn shop name is just called Skeins, Skeinz. And she is so amazing, right? And so I heard about her story. So I happened to have just jumped on, saw her on Instagram, and I reached out to her. I said, hey, do you want to get on live with me and chat about what's going on with you and your shop and everything? Because she got permission to open up her one section of her shop to during this whole health crisis and the whole shutdown in her country, which is New Zealand. And so she had to go through all these hoops and everything and follow all the laws and guidelines, and got the approval to keep a part of her shop open with social distancing and all that stuff. And so a bunch of people were coming after her, but not just a regular bunch of people. It's the same people that have been coming after her over and over again over different topics, but this just happened to want to jump on this train. So the SJWs were like bugging her again. I say bugging as in the nice way to do it, right? Hey, Vicky, so glad you're joining. So she had mentioned something that was really strange to me, and I never heard of it because I knew about remember the whole thing about me opening my phone 2 a.m. on Instagram, the knitting community is racist, and I was like, what the heck is this, right? And you know my stories over and over again. I've done tons of videos on that, my diversity video about that topic. But she had mentioned something about, because they had asked her, I guess there were rumblings before that blog, and it was really fascinating to me because she had mentioned something about many people approaching her shop and asking her for a diversity statement. And I'm like, I think you could probably see my face in that live on Saturday if you watch the replay. I was like, what is a diversity statement? I'm like, what is this diversity statement? And I guess the SJWs were going around asking yarn shops and whoever was doing business to, like, if you didn't put out a diversity statement, they weren't going to support you, or that you were banned or shunned from them. And so I'm assuming that's what that was. And I was like, so what would a diversity statement entail? I'm thinking, be like, oh, I accept all people are welcome. Like, what does this mean? What is this diversity statement? And I started thinking about it, because now I realize that, come to think of it, during that whole time, that whole crazy nonsense, I did see like a bunch of accounts on Instagram that I was following, all saying like, we accept, like, they're like right in their bios. I remember them saying like, we accept diversity, or we're for, and then they would name like the different groups and sections of the people that they were including in their diversity statement, I guess. Like we accept these people and these people and these people, which I guess if you didn't if you didn't say that you accepted all these special people, then I guess you weren't diverse enough. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So I'm gonna backtrack, and then I started thinking, and I remember seeing that and I just thought, well, who doesn't? I remember being like, oh, we support BIPOC. I'm like, who doesn't? We support the transgender and the homosexuals. I'm like, who doesn't? And we, we support like minorities and these kinds of groups. And I don't know, unicorns and God only knows. Who doesn't is always my reaction, right? Who doesn't is always my reaction. But that was neither here nor there. And even during the rumblings of Ravelry, I remember, but I think I just thought I saw like, we support Ravelry, I support Ravelry, I stand with Ravelry, which I get, because they stood with Ravelry. And I went in long and lengthy detail about why I stood against the Ravelry policy in my Ravelry video, so I won't rehash that. You can find both of those videos, diversity video and Ravelry, in my channel. But so today, so with much reflection, this was a Saturday night, I was thinking, learning about that. And then early Sunday morning, I was with a lot of prayer. I started really thinking about this diversity statement issue. And I'm like, why would they want somebody to put out a diversity issue before they were even friends with them or supported them? And then the more and more I thought about that statement, the more it wasn't settling in with me. So then yesterday, I put out a post on Instagram, and I was quite terrified about it. Like, I was quite shaking about it. And what I really wanted to do was write diversity statement and then a big red circle with a slash mark, like no. But I didn't know how to do that on Canva or any other graphics. I just didn't know how to do it. Like, I just wanted the symbol for diversity statement and then a big X with a slash to it saying no, like no. Like, I disagree with it. I think it's really wrong. I like vehemently disagree with it. And so I put out a post. So all I could do was my simple, plain Instagram texting that I was able to get on Canva was just to write no diversity statement as my graphic. But if I could figure out a way to do it with a big X with a big circle and a slash, I would. If you guys know how to do it, please do that and send it to me, and I will love you for life. Because I would like this movement to take over that other one, because I think calling for it and then going along with it and asking for it, requiring it, I think is just the stupidest thing I've ever heard, and quite offensive, very offensive. So I put that picture out and I wrote, I do not believe in having a diversity statement. I love all humans. Like, I love all humans. All humans are God's children, and I love them, all of them equally. I love them. I love them. I love you all. To have to put out a statement that says such a thing is silly and counterintuitive. Having a diversity statement means that I put value on the color of someone's skin, the creed they worship, their background, heritage, their social beliefs, etc., etc., etc. I do not place value on any of that. I do not care what you look like, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I don't care where you came from, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. And I don't care what you believe in, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I don't care. I just love you exactly as you are. Exactly as you are. No matter your color, no matter your creed, no matter where you came from, no matter what you did, what you believe, no matter. I love you exactly as you are. If I did care remotely about any of those things, even a little bit, if I cared remotely about who you are, what you look like, where you came from, what color your skin is, what shape your eye is, what color your hair is, who you love, who you choose to be with, who you worship, if I cared about a little bit, just a little bit about any of that fact, then yeah, I would put out a diversity statement. What the heck? It's 2020, people. It's 2020. Are we really still that superficial? Like, do we really still care about that? Aren't we all human beings? Do we all not have a brain, a heart, our souls, who we like, our best versions to create and produce, and what we're put on this earth to do, to make magic, to make dents in the universe? Like, really, do we still care about all that other stuff? Like, it blows my mind. Who still thinks this way? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So what is SJW? Social justice warriors. You know, the beautiful people of the world that like to claim. I think they get that title because there's like entitlement to say, you know, we stand for this injustice in this world. And you would think for the way I fight for humans, for the way I fight for human beings, pro-life and all, for the way I fight for human beings, you would think that I was a hardcore social justice warrior, you know, like fighting for social justice causes. But there's a line where they cross somewhere, these SJWs, and that's where they get this title, like social justice warriors title, is because there's an entitlement to it, where it's kind of like, you know, yeah, we say one thing, but we really mean only certain amount of people, only certain sex. Like, you're only racist if you're one type, and if you're another type, you can't be racist. Like, that doesn't exist. Or, you know, or you can only be racist to one and not the other. There's always like, it's not universal. Like, that's truly a just cause if you can stay universal, but they tend to not stay universal. Oh, let's see. Oh, thank you for joining, Spin Chick. Some caught flack for saying stand with or instead of I support because it was ableist language. You know what, Spin Chick, you're right. I remember that whole thing where they were saying, I remember that whole rumbling about I stand with Ravelry, because that was when I was in that deep Ravelry fight. There was a bunch of them that were saying I stand with Ravelry, and then they had to change their copy so quickly because they were hurting the people that couldn't stand. They were hurting the people in wheelchairs, saying you're against wheelchair people, and I'm like, you're an ableist or something, or enabler, people that aren't able to do something, then you are offending them. And I'm like, that's where the crazy just gets like ridiculous, you know, like a whole other level of crazy. But I do remember that, and I remember going, that is nuts. The Lord bless you all and keep you. The Lord makes his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turns his face to you and gives you shalom. Eliana, thank you for joining. I love your prayers. You like keep me grounded. Thank you for explaining. I was lost in the SJW world. Yeah. So basically, if you see anybody picking, so right now, the rumblings of where they're after right now is they're starting to attack, because I'm watching it over and over again now. I've heard of 3 companies this past week, just this week alone, 3 yarn companies that got to stay open right? Because they followed all the laws and guidelines from the laws of the land, whatever country they were from, whatever land they were from. And these SJWs are starting to attack them, basically calling them murderers and killers because they're endangering themselves and their people. And I'm like, what happened to your like responsibility for yourselves, making your own decisions, having grace and not judging others? You know, get off your high horse, people. Get off it. Because they're gonna force me on mine. Steph, did you say you do not care if is of any religions? What am I missing here? Yes. Are you asking me if I do not care about who? Yeah, I'm a Christian. I don't care who else is a Christian. I'm not going to treat you any differently if you're not a Christian. You know what I mean? I love my God. I love my Jesus Christ, but I'm not going to treat you less of a human being if you don't love Jesus Christ like I love Jesus Christ. That is ridiculous. And I don't know what idiot would look at somebody and judge them for what they believe in and then think of themselves as a lesser human being because they don't believe what I believe. That is ridiculous. So yes, I don't care what you believe. So you know what I mean? That is not going to change my opinion of you. Just like it shouldn't change your opinion of me. So I put that out there and I remember shaking because I was like, oh my God. I was like, is this statement even just too smart for me to comprehend? But a few people reached out to me and were happy that I had posted that and thought that I had made so much sense because they couldn't figure out what was going on. So I had a really nice conversation with a fellow Asian, you know, just in case you think that this one is the crazy Asian. Jen on Instagram, my friend on Instagram, commented that I usually run, not walk, from anyone who has a diversity statement. So you're going to treat me differently because I'm ethnically Asian. No, thank you. In actuality, I'm Canadian as they come, born and raised, is what she wrote. And I responded, exactly. That's crazy. Why do people go along with this nonsense? Like, I want you to treat me equally by pointing out my specialties. I want you to treat me equally so you can put out a diversity statement and point out my differences to you. What the? Like, that's counterintuitive. Like, that it goes against everything because now you're judging me for my color or my creed or my abilities or whatever other thing that they want to do or what I believe in or who I choose to love. Do we want to go there too? It's crazy thinking. And she wrote, and I think it's kind of condescending. She wrote, I think it's kind of condescending, like I'm getting a pat on the head, there, and be told that somehow I have it worse by the mere fact that by the mere fact of my ethnicity, therefore I need a handout. Oh, don't get me started on that because I cannot. One of the worst, like the more and more I'm into this whole world, you know, trying to remove this cancer inside of our maker community, is this talk about being a marginalized human being. You know, like I'm a less than human being. Like, are you flipping kidding me? No, I don't have it worse because I'm Asian. I'm human. I have the same struggles that everybody else has. I have the same struggles that you have. I too struggle with putting my pants on one at a time. And if I didn't, there are other things that I'm struggling with. Trust me. If you don't have two legs to put your pants on, you don't have to be offended. There are other things we're all struggling with. Everybody struggles in planet Earth. Everybody's got issues. Some at different levels. Some handle their differences better. Some handle their their trials and tribulations a little better than others, and some handle them worse than others, but everybody's got their challenges. And apparently Indy's got his own because he needs to go out. So then I wrote, right, I think it's really wrong and offensive. And they call me the crazy Asian when they're the ones that are crazy if they're asking for or demanding a diversity statement. So yeah, that's what I wanted to get out of my system. So I'm like, I know I'm probably late to the game. If I learned about this a year ago, I would have jumped on there and said, no, do not put out a diversity statement, because if you do, I find it incredibly offensive. As a minority, I find it incredibly offensive. And to ask for one, here's the concept that I can't grasp. Why would you want one? Like, why do you need one to feel safe in that environment? That's the only thing I can think of, right? Is that they're demanding it because they must feel better they would feel better to work with a company that says we accept this people and we accept that people. Couldn't you just accept the people? By you pointing out that you accept them, then you're actually pointing out that they are different. So by you saying, we accept you for being this, we accept you for being that, we accept you for being this, you're actually saying, by being this and by being that, you are different and now we accept you. Like, that is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh man. 2020. I don't even know where else to go from that. So maybe we'll keep this nice, short, and sweet. So just know for a fact that I, Vone Kevitz, for my VK shop, my Dare to Be Original, my entire brand, who I stand for, what I believe in, I do not have a diversity statement. I highly, highly stand against having one, because what that does is point out your differences. And the point of all of this is that we unite and that we're all one big, happy human family. One equal, happy human family. Can we all be that? Can we all be that? Because that's where I think the real line is that not everybody wants that. And because not everybody wants that big, human, happy family to unite as one, then they start pointing out the differences. And then they start asking for the special privileges. And then they start pointing out what's what and what's what and what's what and what's this and what's that. Then they start nitpicking and dividing. Those are the people that don't want real unity. I happen to want real unity. I happen to want love. I happen to want peace. I happen to want everybody to get along and to uplift and encourage one another and strengthen each other and support one another and love hard on one another. Like, I happen to believe all that equally, every single one. No exceptions. No exceptions. You know? All right, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please share the message. And yeah, share the message. And if you happen to disagree with your having a diversity statement and thinking somebody needs to be a little bit more special than the other class of human beings, be kind and share it with me in the comments. I'm happy to have a very nice discussion with you about how we are all the same, literally all the same, because none of that matters. None of that superficial stuff matters, you know? All right. God bless, guys. Bye.